Hello, everyone. This is Cris from Texas School, and I'm here with one of our illustrious instructors and our TPPA Executive Director, Steve Kozak. His class at Texas School for 2026 is the Complete Photographer, Mastering Your Camera, Flash, and Composition. So thank you, Steve, for spending a little bit of time with us on this Texas School off-the-record conversation.
We don't have many conversations off the record, do we?
No, there's no one's taking minutes or anything like that. We are recording this though. So I know, Steve, a lot of our members probably know you as the executive director, but if someone's kind of looking at Texas School and like, who's Steve? What makes his class unique? Why learn from Steve? Can you give us a little insight to that?
Well, photography is a passion for myself. And I know a lot of photographers don't like using the word passion, but it really is. I say that unashamedly. And I think for a lot of folks, photography is also their passion. And what I've come to learn after 27 years of teaching at Texas School is that most photographers come into this self-taught. Mm-hmm. And so they have a lot of habits that are bad habits, and they're missing a lot of the puzzle pieces that would make them a complete photographer. And what I like to think of as people come into my class, I'm kind of like a Sherpa. When you climb Everest and you want to get to the top, well, I'm not going to take you to the top, but I'm going to take you to first base camp. And that's a pretty important part of that journey is getting to first base camp. And I'm going to teach you the skills that you need to be a professional photographer. I'm going to teach you the equipment that you need to be a professional photographer. And whether or not you want to go into business or not, I don't care. What I care about is that your work looks like the work of a professional photographer. And then once I am done with you, I'm going to hand you off to the other brilliant photographers that we have at Texas School who are going to take you to second base camp, and finally to those that are going to help you summit.
Okay, that sounds great. And is it going to be as cold in your classroom as it is on that?
If you put me in the same classroom, you'll need to dress like you're about to scale Everest.
Okay. And you're going to carry all the gear because you're the Sherpas too.
Well, I have two fantastic wranglers who have been with me for a number of years. Patrick and Elizabeth are just fantastic. They're kind of the yin and the yang. Patrick's sort of the technical wrangler, and he helps you find the right dials and the right buttons and which things you need to slide on the lights. And Elizabeth is the talk you off the ledge wrangler. When you just think you can't go on anymore, Elizabeth steps in and gives you that pep talk and tells you that you can do it. And she's right. You can do it.
That's fantastic. Sounds like you build a great community with your team and your students in your class.
They're really and truly, my wranglers are the best. I'll put them up against any wranglers, and I know we have some fabulous ones. But the class certainly does gel. We gel ahead of time because we've actually already started our email chain. They're going to start early next week doing some homework and getting prepared for class. We'll meet on Zoom a couple of times before class to just get some things worked out. Because people are coming in at a variety of skill levels, I'm trying to get them all as close together as I can get them before we actually enter the classroom, because I want that time to be extremely efficient time for them to learn and go out and practice and go out and shoot. And I don't want them really fumbling with the basics. So we try to knock that out before they ever get there.
Yeah. So you kind of talked about your students getting them on the same page and, building this community, but even before Texas School. So what kind of student do you think, if you're playing matchmaker and there's lots of photographers at lots of different places, what is this ideal student or a student that's really great for Steve Kozak's class?
I mentioned that so many photographers came into this industry self-taught, and I would start really with any photographer who is self-taught, because I promise most of you have missed some things. And, we go through life not knowing what we don't know. And I think it's really important to create those aha moments for students. And that they really say, oh my gosh, that's why this hasn't been working, or oh my gosh, that's how this works. And so it's really the unsuspecting student that I think should take a hard look at this class,
Mhm.
because again, if you're self-taught, you just don't know what you're missing. The obvious student is the one who is really wanting to transition into a higher level of photography, whether they want to sell their work or whether they just want to be excellent photographers and succeed in image competitions at any level. Again, I'm the first base camp guy. I'm not going to be the Photoshop guy that's going to help them win competitions, but I'm going to help give them those technical and creative and artistic visions to help
Mhm.
them get where they want to go.
Yeah. Does it matter what kind of genres I like to photograph, or just still that self-taught photographers, or-
Yeah, we cross all genres in this class. So I will have landscape photographers, I'll have portrait photographers, wedding photographers, really the full gambit
yeah.
of photographer types. We will do a variety of different types of sessions. So my landscape photographers are going to have to photograph some people. My contention is, if you're a landscape photographer, don't you photograph your family ever? And if so, don't you want those photographs to
Sure.
look as good as your landscape images
Yeah.
do? So of course you do. So you're going to learn how to photograph people and do just some good basic solid posing, and learn how to balance a flash in the outdoor environments that you like to work in, so that it doesn't look over flashed or it doesn't look under flashed. So oftentimes I hear people say, well, I'm a natural light photographer. And I kind of say, yeah, I can tell, because you're not utilizing the tools. Again, you don't know what you don't know, but you're not utilizing the tools that can help turn that image into something special. And it's really not hard, but someone has to show you how to do it.
So you were kind of leading into my next question. You talked about, oh, we're going to be photographing some people and some posing and working with flash. So what does a day in your class look like? It sounds like I can bring my camera. I'm going to get to do hands-on and actually take photographs. Or we just and not sit at my desk and get to do this? Is that
So I try really, really hard for my class not to be death by PowerPoint. And we pretty much come in the first day. I doubt I will even turn the projector on, because we're really going to be hands-on. You're going to be hands-on with your own gear, yet you're also going to be hands-on with some gear that we will have in our class for you to work with. For example, a handheld meter. If you've never used a handheld meter, you've probably never seen a properly exposed image. And I don't say that kiddingly. I'm very serious. A properly exposed image is key to the foundation of what we do. And so we will be learning to work light meters, which will apply to landscape photographers and people photographers. You'll then go out and start learning how to recognize lighting direction and such. We do some fun little exercises that I've developed over the years that help you really see the light and how the light impacts your subject,
Mhm.
and how it can work for you or against you if you're not really controlling that light and seeing that light. And so that's all till about 10 o'clock Monday morning. And then at that point, then you've got some assignment work to do, where you go out and you capture some photographs. You'll be photographing each other in class to begin with. You'll be doing some location photography. So interiors of the hotel and some exterior shots. So there's your landscape photographers kind of
Mhm.
doing their thing and applying those skills in a way that we can do it there. But then we start adding the tools. We start working with flash. We'll talk about on-camera flash. We'll talk about off-camera flash and the value that that brings. And then hopefully by Tuesday afternoon, we'll be going out on location. There's a park nearby that I love to go to, and we'll be applying a lot of those things that we did in class and outside of class into an actual shooting environment. And so that'll be an eye-opening thing, and folks get to really practice those skills. There's no
Mhm.
failure here, but there's the execution of the things that we've practiced in class. And really a lot of this is it's a lot, as you know, like playing the guitar. I can
Mhm.
show you the G, C, and D chords, And you'll be able to, over time, start sort of building your chords as you find the strings with your finger and you stretch that muscle to get that last finger down there on that last string. And finally you strum it and, oh, well, it sounds pretty good. But what I really want is for it to become muscle memory, just like playing the guitar. Most guitar players or piano players, they can sit down at that instrument. They don't have to think about what they're doing. They just perform. And that's where I need you to be, not only with your camera, but also with your flash and also with any type of lighting that you're doing. We'll do some studio lighting. And I know the landscape photographers might think, well, I don't need any studio lighting. Well, you just never know. A good job that comes your way, that if you can accept it and do that job, it could provide you enough money to buy that lens that you're looking for to increase your arsenal. So don't ever discount what opportunities may come your way.
Yeah. Well, it sounds great. It sounds like I know many of your students that have come through my class when I was an instructor there. And I'll tell you, Steve gets them prepared, like he says, takes the base camp, gets them ready to then scale that mountain with confidence and with the skills. So I didn't realize you did so much, though. It's been fun interviewing all these different instructors and talking to them and all the little things they do to make their class special and unique and build that community within Texas School. And I say it all the time, and it sounds so cliche. I know you know it too, but it really is like a family reunion. You come there to learn, and you may come alone if it's your first time, but you leave with, not only you leave with a coach or a mentor that's there to help you, you leave with friends, you leave with the pack of people that even maybe decades down the road are still some of your best friends and your life support when you when you need help with your business or just to talk about anything that's going on. So it sounds like you've got that great community, having Wranglers for a lot of time, for many years. And
Yeah,
so,
I've got 27 years worth of friends that have come from Texas School, and it really says a lot. It says a lot about the organization and really the culture that Texas School is.
mhm.
That you don't just leave there and that's the end. It is a lifetime of friendship and colleagues and really helping each other get wherever it is they want to go.
Yeah. So speaking about where they want to go, I wanted to keep these conversations just nice and short, and we're almost out of time. So someone's going to come to Texas School. They're going to be in Steve Kozak's class. They're going to learn to master their flash and composition and use their camera with confidence and have a great time at all of our parties and meet new friends and all the things that Texas School has. And then they go home and real life starts to set in, whether, okay, I just spent a week with this. Now what do I do? So tell the audience, like, what's a photographer that took your class? How's their life going to be different? Or what can they do 1 week after Texas School that they couldn't do before they walked in that door?
I tell you, I suspect a lot of them spend a lot of time deleting images off their website and off their Facebook and off their Instagram, because nothing that you ever do moving forward will be what you did in the past. And you will step your game up so much that you go back and look at your stuff and you just kind of shake your head. It's like, I never realized I broadlit every single portrait I ever did.
Mhm.
And, once you start seeing those lighting patterns and understanding those lighting patterns, it really is a chance for people to take an assessment of their craft to that point and
Mhm.
say, nothing I've ever done will be good enough again. And we'll also do some Zoom classes afterwards. We'll actually cover a small business module to help those who need that kickstart to grow a
Oh, great.
business, whether they're trying to have a portrait business or whether they want to sell their work as a landscape or still life photographer. We'll give them some tips and some ideas about how to go that direction as well.
Well, that sounds fantastic. Just so y'all listening, I hope Steve's on your list. If you're, whether you're just starting out in photography or you've been doing it a while, but you just need that confidence and that, and just that, I guess, that atmosphere to be able to grow and grow securely and confidently, then Steve Kozak's the class for you, to take you to, as he says, to take you to base camp of Mount Everest. Which, if you look at Mount Everest, that's a good analogy. That's not at the bottom.
No, it's not.
It's not at the bottom. Um,
No.
it's a good ways up the up the
You
hill.
know, if we're looking at that analogy, I would not make it to first base camp if I was really climbing Everest. So it is a long way above where you are right now.
Yeah.
It to call it a basic class is a little bit misleading, but I tell you what, you need those fundamentals and you need those
Yeah.
skills to take it anywhere else that
Yeah.
you want to go.
Yeah. Well, Steve, I want to thank you for your time today, and we're excited to have you as one of our uh, awesome instructors at Texas School. And just for those listening, remember Texas School is April 26th through May 1. You can learn more about Steve's class and all the wonderful things we have at Texas School at texasschool.org, and hope to see you there in April.